Good afternoon, my friends. We listen to The Arrogant King. It's from the book of Daniel, chapter 5. King Belshazzar invited his nobles, 1,000, and then also he had his wives and his concubines, and he wanted to drink from the chalices that his father, Nebuchadnezzar, took from the temple of God in Jerusalem. So he had them brought in where he was so they can drink. So the chalices were brought in, and then of course they started to drink, and they toasted the gods, the gods of the god that they believed in, the gods of silver, the gods of gold, the gods of wood and stones, the gods of bronze and iron, and they were happy, very happy. And all of a sudden, something strange happened, and on the wall there was a disembodied hand writing, and the king panicked. Of course, he did not believe his eyes. He said, "What is going on?" And then his knees just knocked, and he just called upon the enchanters. He called upon the fortune tellers. He called upon all of those people, the magicians, to come so they can read what was written on the wall. But unfortunately, all those people were unable to read and interpret the words that were written on the wall. He was in such a panic, and so were the nobles that he invited. And then his mother, the queen, came in, and she told her son to calm down, that there was a man full of wisdom, and that his father also used when he was king, King Nebuchadnezzar. So he said his name, he was renamed Belshazzar, but his name is Daniel. So he is really filled with the spirit of gods, and he is intelligent. He's a brilliant guy. He is able to solve the mystery. So just call on him; he'll fix it. It's nothing to Daniel. So the king had Daniel come in. Daniel came, and when he came, he told him, "Okay, I have my magicians, my enchanters. They came here. The diviners. They were unable to read what is written on the wall." And of course, as they couldn't read it, there's no way they could interpret it for me. So I heard good things about you. It looks like you are one of those who came from Judah that my father took here. You were one of the Jewish exiles. And then, of course, he said, well, if you can read this for me, you read that, you interpret it for me, I will clothe you with a purple robe. I will give you a great golden chain, and you will be the third in command. Daniel told him, you may keep your presents or give them to somebody else, but I will read the writing and interpret them for you. And then Daniel went and explained to him. He told him, your father was king, and God made him a great king that was respected by all the people in the world. He killed or spared people on whim, and he also promoted or humbled people capriciously. And then he got a big head and then a hard spirit. But God deflated him. What God did, God sent him out of the community of human beings. He lived with animals, and he ate grass like an ox. And he got wet with the dew in the morning. And after that, he understood, he made up his mind, he understood that God, only God, rules, that God rules human kingdoms, and God is the one who puts anyone he wants in charge. He understood it. But you would have get it too. It is so strange that you did not understand, that you don't understand, and you are doing exactly the same thing like your father. You have your people here, the nobles are here, you have your wives and the concubines, and you're going to eat, to drink out of the chalices that your father took from the temple of God in Jerusalem. you're going to drink from those. Not only drink from them, but what you're going to do, you're going to just give a toast to the gods made of silver and gold, the gods made of wood and stones, the gods made of iron and bronze, the gods who are lifeless. They are deaf and blind. And instead of you, honoring the God who gives you life, the God who watches over you all the time, you just disregard that God and you give glory to those gods. That is why God sent the hand that wrote on the wall for you to know what he wants. And of course, what is written there is Mene, Tekel, and Perez. Mene means that the days of your rule have been numbered and they don't add up. And Tekel means that you have been weighed on the scales and you don't weigh much. And Perez means that your kingdom has been divided up and handed over to the Persians and the Medes. And of course, after having heard that, the king, King Belshazzar, kept his promise. He robed Daniel with a purple, with a purple dress. Of course, he had the purple robe on, and then he gave him, of course, the great golden chain, and of course, he made him the third in command. That very night, the King Belshazzar was murdered, and King Darius became the king. King Darius was a Mede. That is the end of our story that we find in the book of Daniel, chapter 5, the arrogant king. I will see you next week. You have a good one.